What's up guys, it's Jughead here, just a down-to-earth guy trying to bring you some down-to-earth content. Welcome back to my Let's Watch Hunter x Hunter series. Today we are watching episode 46? Chasing and Waiting. I knew the title of the episode, wasn't so sure about the number there. First of all, I apologize for my absence. I know, how many times have I said that to you guys through the camera by now over the lifespan of this channel? Sure, I can count it on both hands. I've returned from my trip to Arizona, where I got my climbing in, my hiking in, my exploring in, and just overall spending some good time with family. I've actually posted some new photography up on my Instagram. Following me there and showing some love on my post would make me super happy if you did. It's yet another passion of mine, growing my Instagram, where I can showcase my photography and more of my personal life as Evan instead of Jughead is something I'd really love to do. And of course, you can always talk to me over there. Sorry for that plug, I digress. Of course, with the vacations I go on and the time I take off sometimes to spend some time with friends and family, you know, we all want to make up for the time we've lost over the past year or so. It's going to take me away from the channel. And of course, you know, I like to be transparent with you all. Graphic design and freelance has been slow and kind of hard recently, so I've really wanted to prioritize that side of my life, the real world, to make up for the time I've lost and the money I've lost. You know, just the reality of it has taken me away from that too. I'm a small channel. I don't make very much money. I don't upload as much as I wish because I have to prioritize my work that makes me money to support myself. Don't want to be homeless. But the fact I don't upload super consistently is why I'm a small channel. If I devoted more time to YouTube, I would upload more and my channel would grow, making me more money. But I need money in order to have the freedom and the comfort to devote that time. It's a circle. It's a catch-22. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, you know. That capitalism is damn annoying sometimes. Just let that winning lottery ticket fall in my lap and you'd see me upload a video every day. That's why I really appreciate those who support me on Patreon. Even a little bit helps me even pay for my monthly subscription to my software I use. Your money literally goes directly back into the channel. You know, I just want to be transparent, and that was my little spiel of transparency right there. But this is a Let's Watch Hunter x Hunter series. Let's talk about Hunter x Hunter here just briefly before we get into this next episode that I still think is episode 46. Probably should have looked at that beforehand. Somehow I know the title, I don't know the number. But Chasing and Waiting. Uvo, he's on the warpath after Kurapika. Uvo is chasing. Kurapika, is he waiting? Is he that confident? He's that smart to assume that Uvo... Oh, I didn't even think about that. Kurapika isn't even aware that Uvo has escaped. Dalzollene, the dumbass, as I like to call him, is dead. Melody and Basho have escaped. Hisoka and Kurapika, the duo, their plan is underway as well. But I didn't even think about that. Chasing and Waiting. Kurapika may be waiting unbeknownst to him that Uvo is chasing him. And we're going to see that clash, that final battle, I presume. Who's coming out on top? It's obviously going to be Kurapika, but in what fashion would be dope. And I'm super excited to see that. I hope it's in this episode, and I don't have to wait for another one. I'd love this to be, hey, I've returned back to the channel. I'm uploading again after my vacation. Let's watch this super hyped episode. I would love that. Hope that happens. Of course, I don't want to keep talking anymore. I've already been talking for 5 minutes. Maybe some of you even skipped this. So I'm going to see you in like 5 seconds. Transition. Let's watch Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter, episode 46. I went and checked. I was correct. If you enjoy and look forward to this series, hit that like button to let me know. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It all helps and means a whole lot to me. With that out of the way, in 3, 2, 1, where is my mouse? Let's watch. Quick recap. Let me turn this down. It is loud as hell. The duo, their own plan is underway to take down Crollo. Not even for any real rational reason. Kurapika just wants to fight the most powerful person I assume he knows. Kurapika, obviously, after his revenge. Oh, I was going to say, is that the phone call from Kurapika? Melody and Bosch are telling him, Dalzollene's dead! Uvo's escaped! Yep. Nope. Troop members stormed. Dalzollene's dead. You're still on an unsecure line. Ooh. Oh yeah, that was before he joined. The boss sells every item after admiring it. Scarlet Eye should be no exception. So is he going to be going around the world trying to collect each one? Keep this in mind. Ooh. Ahsoka and the voice actor know how to deliver lines, man. Goosebumps. Let's see. Okay. It's a give and take relationship. If it's no longer beneficial to either party, you split. Like I said, it's a zero debt relationship right now. Hisoka gets what he wants, or Pika gets what he wants. They can walk away free. But Kurapika is the one that may go down the really dark path being alongside Hisoka. That's what I worry about. Okay. Yo, your friend Dalzollene's dead. There was an attack. Oh yeah, she's learning all those people died. That was straightforward. I was about to say, is she gonna care about human lives or just care about what she wanted? No longer, though, because they captured the owl. They gonna be going to the public auction? There's a Yu Hakusho, I forget his name, because I suck at names. Yeah, Squala. Call him. You pussy. I think everyone's gonna vote for Kurapika. Most level-headed. Probably the most skilled. Yep. A natural leader. We've seen it over time. Trek Tower, through the forests. Their time trying to rescue Killua. This is the only time that we confirm what's happening, doesn't it? Ooh. Speaking directly. Getting close so soon. What does that mean? Because I wouldn't assume Kurapika is directly after the mafia. How would he know in advance? Everybody knows him. Yeah, let's describe how powerful these motherfuckers are. True. Yeah, he has to kiss up to her because she's pretty much given him his high chair. He exploits her. In exchange, kind of has to kiss up to her. Hell yeah. We got our new leader. So he's coming. So what did Kurapika mean by, yeah, he's surprised he's getting the chance so soon? Is it to interact directly with the mafia? Squalla has to be the one to handle her temper tantrums now. Drinking all that beer to get those leeches done for. On the same site going to Killua we're on. See, like the expert hacker? The techie guy? That Franklin? Yep. I wonder how much he has to drink to even get the slightest buzz. I was gonna say, how many of these guys actually have hunter licenses? We know Hisoka does. And that's probably why he wants all of that information. Nice. Toodaloo. Yeah, there's gonna be a disposing of a body. I don't think he's gonna be the one doing it, though. And that's some foreshadowing, I suppose. Yep. That long, extended, worried face. Yeah, this info ain't so private, man. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm guessing he was an actual hunter who was able to access this. Yep. They know exactly where you're at. Rational. So smart. Covering all tracks. I love it. My apologies. I had to do something real quick. I'm going to go back just a little bit so we can reacclimate ourselves. My apologies. Don't use fake names. Which is interesting. Why you wouldn't. Kurapika's smarter than me. I would not be thinking of this stuff. Like, don't check out of the room. Don't use fake names. Don't run somewhere else for needless movement. Let's stay in the same hotel. Interesting. Let me go back again, because I'm a dumbass. Ah, there we go. He'll will be waiting for Uvo. Hell yeah. And you stripped him of his clothes? They basically worship her. That makes sense. Someone who can practically tell your fate. Yep. The daughter made him. Jesus Christ. Yep. Crollo was right. There were no traitors like he suspected. Never could you have just predicted, oh, somebody can predict fortune. Okay. They made almost 3 mil from the wrestling? Holy shit. You got 8 million Jenny. And they need to turn that into 9 billion. And that's just the opening bid. That was my goal. Nice. Ah, man. I love how... I don't even know how to describe it. I love Leorio's illustration. I think it's because I've been watching the 1999 version of Hunter x Hunter lately, and I'm uploading that to my Patreon. So seeing super high detail illustration like this going back to 1999, it's such a contrast. Oh! Are we going to add 20 to the broken arm count? Technically, we didn't see it and not part of our cast, so I won't. But a lot of broken arms. We shutting you down? Are they mafia? Like typical Sopranos guys. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. That was the bait he was looking for. Let's work with the mob now. High rollers. Can they tell he's an end user or what? Or just no, we can exploit this. We'll take a decent cut. They'll win so much, even if we get a small cut, we'll make money. It would be interesting if they get affiliated with a different mob family, while Kurapika's with the Nostrada family. Why is arm wrestling so popular? I saw arm wrestling on Whale Island in episode 2 of the 1999 version of Hunter x Hunter. Arm wrestling competition last episodes, and now another arm wrestling competition. Winner receives 10% of all. Yeah, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Take whatever money you can get. Yeah, nobody's gonna bet on the kid, but how many Nen users are here? And this guy made it to the top floors of Heaven's Arena. Come on. But this is underground. Who knows how you compare normie Heaven's Arena to underground shit? What the fuck? What the hell? What the hell is this? Oh. They're Phantom Troupe, but they don't know that yet. Are these all Nen users then? Oh, they all know about it. Jesus Christ. That's a high price on their heads. I'd be scared, because you know these people are dangerous. These people are gonna fucking die. Yeah. There's no way you're catching them all. Does he recognize any faces from his time as an assassin? Or Killua was gonna be like, let's not do this, we're gonna be fucking dead. Unless they all work together. But... I want to know how many Nen users there are out here. Yeah, right? Yep. Bounty hunt. Yep. Means it's serious. Killua has to know about the mafia. Assassins, mafia, those worlds converge. So I guess I'm not seeing Kurapika versus Uvo this episode. Damn it. Hold on, let me go back, let me go back, let me go back. That's what it means by chasing and waiting. Uvo's chasing, Kurapika's waiting, because he's staying in that hotel room that Uvo knows about. The Phantom Troupe. I love this music, man. So good. That echo reverberating through the halls. Uh-oh. He's calling right as Kurapika is about to face off. And it's going to be a cliffhanger. God damn. Giving me blue balls. That's exactly what he's doing. Kill Uvo, give him back, get that 2 billion. Ah, shit. Look, that power stance, Kurapika waiting. Stoic look. Oh shit. Ooh. That was hard. That was a hard line, man. Woo! That chain jail. That's my thumbnail right there. So, let's discuss. Firstly, I need to point out this subtle artistic touch. It took me 2 watch-throughs to see it. This episode is bookended by the ringing of Kurapika's cell phone, echoing through the vast chambers and silent surroundings. Yes, I know, I'm a poet. The ending of last episode into this episode, a phone call from Hisoka. The ending of this episode, a phone call from Gon. Bookends. 2 calls, 1 answered, 1 ignored. Each representing the 2 sides to Kurapika's split life and divided self. His 2 paths. One ringing from an imminent, dark future paved with just violent revenge and rage. The other ringing from a familiar past of friendship and healing. I find that to be beautifully symbolic. You could also say this episode is bookended by the phone calls that take place at the beginning and end of just this episode alone. I was just thinking about that, but I really connected it to the one that I just said. The first call from Melody, Kurapika takes the call, duty bound to his comrades and bosses. The second call from Gon, trying to make sure of his friend's safety, is ignored. Friends will have to wait for him. He's keeping his distance. Only business and revenge are occupying Kurapika's mind, the new leader of the group. All of that combined, that's beautiful. But as for the content in today's episode, we didn't actually end up getting caught in the storm I was anticipating just yet. Surely that will come next episode. Of course, leaving me on such a cliffhanger. Hunter x Hunter loves to be a little tease, okay? But the storm is here. I'd say we're more caught in the eye of the hurricane than anything else. Like I called them a tease. The show gives us these pockets to come up for air, to catch our breaths, and we just dive back in. And this episode really was about depicting a dichotomous world. We're checking back in with Leorio, Gon, and Killua after a while, even though in story time it has only been a day, but we see next to nothing has changed for them, while in that same city, same time, everything has been flipped, turned upside down for Kurapika in the same, albeit action-packed 24 hours. So you see that dichotomy. They're off counting their Jenny from their arm wrestling scam, while Kurapika is learning the spider he captured is now free, Dalzollene is dead, only Squala, Basho, Melody remain, and the troop are actively hunting them. At the same time, this episode captured that polarizing foreign world that I was just mentioning, that our characters are experiencing their own unique subplots. It also managed to convey one of the greatest traits our MCs seem to share that have gotten them this far: intelligence. Kurapika may be having to deal with a completely different set of circumstances than our 3 other guys, but they both showcase exceptional levels of intelligence to get them through it all. Just as it has gotten them through everything so far in these 46 episodes, not just surviving, but thriving at times too. Leorio reveals his money making scheme was merely the first phase to bigger plans and deeper pockets. He hopes Gon's skills and performances last night attracted a level of notoriety and sent word long enough throughout the city to maybe reach the ears of a more influential, powerful high roller of sorts. And hey, what ends up happening? Exactly that. Some mafia agents take the bait Leorio laid out. While for Kurapika, he displays his rational and emotional intelligence by staying composed, objective oriented, discussing next steps with the Nostrada boss, taking the mantle of leader. And not only that, but the intelligence in his planning as he discovers their secret location that they're hiding in has been compromised. Which, side note, I guess reveals that at least Shalnark and maybe some other troop members as well are indeed hunters. Again, it's interesting, morally absent world. You don't become a hunter to do good. Hunters are not automatically good people. What even is good? People become hunters because of the perks. In this case, access to absurd levels of private information. But back to Kurapika and his intelligence, I mean, like him deeming it wasteful, needless energy to try and move to a different place, cleverly not checking out of this room, but simply buying another one somewhere else in the hotel, knowing not to use fake names. Uh, he couldn't have more naturally and convincingly stepped into this leadership role. It's fascinating and striking to see these two personas in one body. I think I've talked about that with Kurapika before. And just like I said, Kurapika is teetering between these two lives, redemption and damnation. He's also two different people. That's four. He's also two different people. You see the responsible, stoic, level headed leader and respectful friend slash comrade slash colleague slash peer. But once he's gotten everyone in that other hotel room, for him to stay behind waiting for Uvo, you know that second person is there, alive and well too, a revenge-filled, hate-driven loose cannon. I want to believe the changing colors of a Kurta's eyes are not just symbolic to this duality of man, this split personality within Kurapika, but perhaps it holds a connection, or better yet, a reflection in a literal sense. What we witness in Kurapika is something that existed in all members of his clan. Even Killua has this moment. He's the first of the trio to realize who their hide and seek game is against, the Phantom Troupe. He sees right through the veil to be nothing but a bounty hunt, and the seriousness behind such a thing for the mafia to do. If they're looking for outside help, let alone offering 2 billion Jenny a spider, Killua, being a Zoldyck assassin, we know where he comes from, knows this can only mean one thing, that the troop proved to be too much for the mafia alone to contain and handle themselves. As we know, but they don't, all their top mercenaries are gone. The Shadow Beasts were wiped out. They also have the treasure. So rightfully so, Gon, Leorio, and Killua gotta ask themselves, hey, we need the money, but is it worth the risk? I remember even one of you guys in the comments a while back talking about one time how like Silva himself rejected a contract on the Phantom Troupe because it was not worth the money. Hey, I'd love to see if this is kind of where we start to see Killua use his past and his skills again as an assassin, even though he's tried to suppress that side of himself. And I like that. It's a toxic relationship for sure, right? To protect not only himself but his friends. Once they dip their toes in the underworld of Phantom Troupe and Mafia, it gets dangerous. So you might need that skill set. I can see the three of them making names for themselves here. Hunters and skilled nen users that could maybe end up contracted by a different mafia family, and like that's how they reunite with Kurapika. They're certainly stronger than the shadow beasts. Um, when all the families come together to discuss what the hell is going to be done about the troop, you see Kurapika with the Nostradas, and Leorio, Gon, and Killua with another boss, and they're just looking across the table, maybe like, "Hey, long time no see." But I do love that we're finally approaching a we're finally approaching or at the point where all of our characters' stories are coming together. We're reaching a critical point, critical mass, a tangential point. We have Leorio well in the picture now again. Makes me happy. Gon and Killua's interests are now more so along the same line as Kurapika's. The plots are overlapping finally. You can really see it. I'm just waiting for the actual collision. Two paths crashing into one. Two black holes rotating until they collapse in on one another. Because that's how Hunter x Hunter is, of course, going to do it. This episode actually did a really good job of just getting me really excited. This was the breather, like I said, but it's making me want to take a really big, deep breath because I'm going to be diving in deep for a while. That's how I feel. Just a really good job of getting me really excited. I'm excited about having all of our characters here. They're all interesting again and fun, and I get hyped for everybody's presence. Everybody's. Like, Leorio isn't much of a Nen user, but he's clever as hell. I've loved him in these episodes with him in York New City. Witty and sly. I don't know how to describe it. He's just more of a badass now. That Greed Island game costs 9 billion Jenny just for the starting bid. Will they accept those contracts? They've already interacted with one of the Phantom Troupe members, Shizuku. How badly do they want that game? Will that be how they run into Kurapika again? Will that be how they afford the game? Maluki is on his way. Is on his way still. We got to remember that. So more Zoldycks joining the party together. Kurapika, I think, is strictly trying to avoid all contact with his friends as much as he can. He knows they're in the city, and he's directly in the chaos. He doesn't want to expose them to the dangers he finds himself in. If he just has to worry about himself, fine. 2 billion is a lot of money. Like I said, sure, go for that money. But I think I think another major influence for them accepting the contract, if they do, is them hoping or knowing going down this venture may lead them to Kurapika, who they are worried about. Since Leorio somehow heard through the grapevine that Kurapika is working as a bodyguard, and knowing the type of person that Kurapika is, Gon and Killua and Leorio together, verbally and physically, share the sense and sentiment that Kurapika is more than likely heavily and deeply involved in the shit going down in Yorknew. So taking on this contract, getting involved with the mafia and the Phantom Troupe and all that, is now as much about getting that moolah as it is about finding Kurapika. And that'll be interesting, because we know where Kurapika is. The battle between him and Uvo surely has to be here next episode. One powerful, ultra powerful enhancer. One super powerful conjurer. Two hearts seeking revenge. Though one, so much so, they've put their own heart up as collateral. If episode 47 is just the clash between the two, I wouldn't be surprised or the least bit upset about it. I'm going into this expecting it to be one of the premier top moments of the entire series. I don't usually care about certain comments and stuff, but slightly annoying to get accusations that I've watched this anime already or read the manga already because of the predictions I make. Like, I predict Uvo is gonna die and be the victim. We're going to see a host of Kurapika's abilities used on him. Like, come on. It's not that difficult a story to unravel now. The strongest member of the Phantom Troupe, a master enhancer, and a conjurer, it's David and Goliath. They wouldn't have had the dialogue of Mizukin explicitly saying a master enhancer is hard to beat if you're a conjurer, if that exact sentiment wasn't going to be directly contested later on. Come on. From Avatar The Last Airbender to Naruto, that whole willpower versus raw power is told. Togashi, I already know, Togashi doesn't just have their characters say shit for the sake of opening their mouths and word vomiting. It's all purposeful. The exact same way how the last words in this episode Shalnark says to Uvo before he jumps out that window is, "Don't be careless." And the long pause on Shalnark's worried face. Like, calm. I've watched thousands of movies and shows to know that this is the most cliche shit on the planet. You do not need to be a cinephile or anime buff to see how obvious that is. It takes half a brain cell to read through that as foreshadowing to Uvogin's downfall. These are two people seeking their own versions of revenge. Kurapika literally said, chain them down to hell. He he developed a whole ass chain just for the Phantom Troupe, disciplined enough to set a whole condition upon his own heart to kill himself should he betray that vow. So to predict Kurapika is going to use chain jail is like saying the sun is going to rise tomorrow morning. And we've only been teased at some super ultra powerful ability of his where he sets that condition that results in a curse placed on the person. We've also not seen him enter specialist mode yet. So you really think having Uvogin right in front of him, again, most powerful, intimidating Phantom Troupe member of them all outside of maybe Hisoka and Crollo, this hype as fuck battle that we aren't going to see any of that this guy who just officially teamed up with Hisoka, who wants info on the entire fucking group, the give and take relationship, as Hisoka called it, he wants to know fucking everything. Not even Hisoka knows that much that he admits, and that he's not going to use what to him could be a once in a lifetime chance to torture his ass or guarantee answers or death from this guy. A man filled with absolute revenge like Kurapika is not going to just kill straight up. He would give his prey the chance for any semblance of respect or chance at survival even. He might torture, he might make it a long death. He could even go the jigsaw route and put Uvo's life in his own hands. I'll let you live if you do this. I'm going to make you die if you don't. Something like that. Like, how fucking dope would it be if that's like his calling card, his tag, his identifying mark, his pattern? What the fuck do they call it? Like the signature kill? I don't know. Like that he curses them the same way he cursed himself, and it is up to them if they choose or want to live enough or not. Like, I get accused for thinking the way that I do. The plot ain't plastered and shoved right in your face per se, but take some film courses, watch some film course series, most of all watch a metric shit ton of movies and shows, and it is truly fascinating to see the skeleton or steel framework DNA of a plot or character arc, whatever appear in front of you that parallels so many other stories you've seen before and more you haven't. It's literally like the equivalent of the human body shares 80% the same DNA as a fucking banana. Okay? Everything parallels one another. I uploaded an entire film class episode on this, the 7 basic plots. There's only 7 plots in all of human storytelling. So safe to say there's less than 10 ways to write a character. It's like once the tree grows so many branches off one another, you know which ones are predictable. You know which forks in the road to take. You just have to add everything together. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to have less puzzle pieces gathered to put together that image. I pay the hell attention. Apologies for my rant, but like, it's both slightly hurtful to me and annoying is a big word. hurtful and annoying to have the effort that I think I put in be dismissed for lying and metagaming my entire brand on this channel and all of my content that I've been doing for like 2 years now. Like, apparently, I upload so infrequently because I'm too busy watching the entire show ahead of time, and I cheat all of you and lie to all of you on this small channel that I do for fun and gain nothing from it. And it can't just be the fact that this is one of the few things in my life I actually consider myself particularly good at and enjoy doing, and people appreciate, and just exploring and appreciating and analyzing storytelling to the highest degree I can while having fun with the resources and experience I have to connect with other fun, passionate people out there to build this community in the tiny corner of the internet I own. So I try hard and take a long time. That's just it. This is literally my entire brand. My name Jughead is supposed to be ironic. I never I never want to give any time out of my day really to stuff like this. I don't want to entertain stuff like that again unless I really have to. Just kind of came up just now. Be a skeptic or not, I know me. Let's get back to Hunter. Good vibes only. I'm happy. I'm not upset. I love everyone. To talk more about Kurapika, it's he definitely talks about and asks a lot about the eyes that were taken from his members. His members were killed and harvested of their precious eyes. Not like he's giving them back to him. I'm sure it comes down to some personal motivation that I don't yet fully understand, but like, is this dude gonna become some sort of human trophy collector himself? Is this gonna be like trying to get 100% collectible completion in a video game or something? Uh, is he gonna try and locate and collect every pair of Kurta eyes that were ever taken and sold? Just have a closet full of eyes or a collection full of eyes? Um, or not so much after the eyes, but maybe use them to trace back after the original owners and conveyors. Only he knows the true cost and value of those eyes. It's just interesting how often recently and sternly he is asking about those goddamn eyes. I just think of I think of a trophy collector and I think of Neon. And if there's anyone I don't want him to become, it's her. After hearing her speak this episode, she learns Beza, Tachino, Dalzollene, and the others killed, and all she cared about was her mummy. She's just so blissfully ignorant, naive, or just simply spoiled and cold. And when she's practically worshipped by the mafia elders like a deity with her fortune telling ability, even her father is pretty much at her feet for making him who he is. She made him. In this world of immorality or amorality, it's not shocking or even disappointing at this point. It's expected. Speaking of expectations and expecting or not expecting something, directly ties into the quote from Kurapika, I never expected to get a chance so soon. That just immediately triggered some confusion and questioning being asked by myself in my head. What chance is he speaking of? Is he talking about his new leadership position? Offering the chance at some authority and some autonomy to direct more of his focus and effort to the Phantom Troupe? Or how his new leadership position instead has essentially and immediately shortcut him way higher up the mafia hierarchy, like a game of shoots and ladders, and just shot halfway up the board to the point he's not only gained direct contact with his real boss, but is he's pretty much the right hand man now, right? Like, might help him finding those scarlet eyes. Either of those plausible, since those are his two most present and immediate concerns, recovering the scarlet eyes and eradicating the Phantom Troupe. I just ain't sure which one is coming out first or what he's referring to when he says this chance so soon. Kurapika not only had the most confusing line of the day with that one, but later on, the coldest, hardest hitting, most real gangsta line of the day too, when he said straight to Uvo's face, "I'd prefer a deserted wasteland with no one nearby, since I'll have you screaming at the top of your lungs." That's no empty threat right there, people. I want to call him Steve Austin, that was so stone cold. An important thing to remember, Kurapika, as far as I know, hasn't killed anyone before. Uvo, he's killed more than he can surely remember. So this is a pivotal moment coming up for Kurapika. He can make his threats. That hate and revenge can be boiling inside him. But come time to kill a man, for blood to be on your hands, that separates men from boys. I can only imagine what losing that part of himself will do to him. Innocence dies. Kurapika told Hisoka he will be back same time tomorrow. Their give and take partnership. It's time to give. And there's a spider to be crushed underfoot. And right there is where I'm going to end today's discussion. I love how I ended that. If you enjoyed today's video, hitting that like button and let me know really does go a long way. And if you haven't already, subscribing to stay in the loop really means a whole lot to me and helps this channel grow. Keep the conversation going down in the comments so we can all connect and engage with each other even more. Following me on Instagram, where I share my photography and more of my personal life, would really make me really happy. I'd love to grow and connect with y'all over there as well. And remember, Jughead's Journey members get first class, early access, and exclusive content over on my Patreon. Having said all that, and with that said, so long, farewell, until next time, thank you, stay happy, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.